Hello, YouTubers. Oh my god. Hey guys, today I'm joined by Joanne, who is my roommate and also a friend, I guess, sometimes.
Wow.
And today we're going to be discussing Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the movie. We've read this entire trilogy, both of us have. I would say overall, I would give the trilogy like 4 stars. I'd give it 4 stars.
I'd give it about 4 stars too.
Yeah, so we enjoyed it, but for me it was just so slow.
Yeah.
I felt like nothing ever happened in it.
Like, it was so different. It was very unique, like the world and everything and all the aspects of it, but yeah, it was very, very slow. It took a while to get through, but I still enjoyed the story.
Yeah. So, based on, as you can probably tell, like, we don't have like extremely positive reviews on like the series as a whole anyway, so if that's reflected in our review of the adaptation, then sorry, but I don't know, it's just like based on our opinion. But obviously, or maybe not obviously, but this was directed by Tim Burton, who's like known for this sort of thing. Yeah, so where should we start? I guess the cast. What do you think about the cast overall?
I liked the casting a lot. I thought like the characters in my head while reading it kind of matched with who I was seeing. But a lot of the children, I think you were talking about it too, I pictured them as older, a little bit older than what the movie portrays.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if this came from like reading the book or not, because it's been a while since I've read Miss Peregrine's, the first one at least. I don't know if it had like specific descriptions of like people's ages or something, but like
maybe it's just an us thing. I don't know.
I don't know, but like some of the people, like Millard, I thought he was like a teenager because like Millard was like one of the main people, like their little group of like Emma and Jacob and Millard seemed kind of like a group. So I assume they were same age, I guess.
Like,
maybe.
it's called Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, but like children it's such a wide range of ages.
Yeah, plus it's young adult, which means that the characters are typically young adult characters. If not that being exactly what it means. Young adult. Young adult usually refers to how old the characters are in the book. So like, obviously you think not necessarily just the main character is this age. I don't know. It just seemed off. And like some of the people who were older, I thought were younger. Like I thought Enoch was a little boy.
Yeah, I thought he was a little bit younger too.
Yeah, because like, I mean, obviously he's very childish.
But in the book, doesn't he have a crush on her? I thought he did.
I don't remember. But again, like that could have been like a childish crush thing. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but like, just putting the like aspects onto like Enoch as a character of like him being such a childish and bratty character that everyone loves to hate, like it just seemed weird as him being like a young adult as opposed to a child.
Yeah, he seemed probably more dark than I pictured him.
In
the movie versus the book. Yeah, it was very like it was a happy tone. All of a sudden Enoch comes out.
And just, ruins
like
everything.
obviously he can like animate objects, whatever, like puppets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they made it in the movie, he pulled together like the most random items to make it the creepiest looking puppets that you could possibly get. Obviously, it's like Tim Burton.
I thought it was like just like clay figures at first.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Book.
Yeah.
I think it probably was then clay figures, but whatever. It's Tim Burton. He has to do something, right?
Like original puppets.
But I think Jacob and Emma, I don't know who Emma is. Do you know what her name is?
I don't know what the...
But like, is it Asa? Asa Butterfield?
Yeah, that's the...
Yeah, I liked Asa Butterfield as Jacob. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else.
Ender's Game. I think he was in Ender's Game. Right?
Yeah, I didn't see that movie though. But yeah, I've never seen him act, I don't think, but he's a pretty good actor. I liked him, and I liked him as Jacob.
I did like him as Jacob, yeah.
Miss Peregrine, I liked who played Miss Peregrine.
Yeah. I can't remember her name.
They did good.
Oh my gosh. But she was great.
Yeah. And obviously, since I'm filming this on a book channel, and we've read the books, like there's no way we can just like critique the movie without like thinking through like the veil of like what we've read.
Yeah.
Because we basically already read all this and like basically
We
seen
saw
this
the
on
movie
our
in our
head.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, just take this as it is, and take this as like us not just critiquing the movie as a movie because we're not
Everybody,
those kind of people, anyways.
Yeah, like all of our friends that went to see it, they really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
But
and they liked it too.
yeah, I enjoyed it, but like, there's like no way I can unbias myself from reading the book versus like watching the movie.
What would you give this out of 10?
The movie?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
overall or just like relating to the book?
I would say first overall and then as an adaptation.
Okay, overall, I would probably give it like a 7 or so. Like, I really enjoyed the movie. I like Tim Burton's style. I saw a lot of like Edward Scissorhands kind of esque in the beginning, but probably as an adaptation, probably about a 5, I would say.
Oh.
They like had to fit 3 books into one movie, and that's very difficult.
I guess they kind of did.
Yeah.
They like defeated the bad guy.
So
I would give it as a movie. I'd give it an 8, I think, because I just really liked how it's done. I really don't watch that much of Tim Burton's movies personally, just because I don't know. I just haven't been my thing. I know that's probably like offensive to a lot of people because everyone loves him, but honestly, I just haven't even seen them, so I can't really critique him overall. But as an adaptation, I don't know. I hate that they're just making one movie. Like, Tim Burton's not really the type of guy who like creates sequels and stuff, which I appreciate. But with this, like, it's kind of like, I don't know, like he didn't do it well overall as a whole of 3 books. He did the first book and just kind of added in like certain elements. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it yet.
Yeah. I think what the thing was though, because how we were saying it's a slow burn, he wanted to like pick up the pace a little bit and try to squeeze all 3 books, but also it's more about he doesn't want to make, like you were saying, 2 other movies.
Yeah.
And those movies might be boring because the plot was like a little bit slower. And
might have been boring as well. Saying it in the nicest way possible. But that's basically all we're gonna say for like non-spoilery things. So if you haven't read the first book, I would say I don't really think it will spoil the second and third book. But if you haven't read the first book or you haven't seen the movie, then don't watch this right now. But you know, maybe watch it after you have done that, and come back to us. But yeah, now we'll get on to the spoilery stuff. So do you want to just like start at the beginning of the movie, I guess?
Yeah.
How did it open? Oh, did it open at the supermarket? I think it did.
Honestly, I don't remember.
I feel like it opened at the supermarket.
I know.
It's a part I really like in the book and in the movie. But in the book it was funnier. I don't know. I feel like he was doing kind of the same thing, and they like made it fall over. I don't know. But he worked at a supermarket.
Yeah, he definitely did. I just remember, I know the movie, it followed the plot really, really well. Probably like for the first book, obviously, about the first third.
Followed plot.
Yeah, about the first third to like the first half of the movie. But then it started like trying to like what happened? It tried to like mesh. It started meshing the other 2 books.
Yeah.
I feel like the second book actually wasn't very, or more the third book wasn't very included at all.
But yeah, like it started out like, okay, this being the book and this being the movie, like they were at the same part, and then they just like went their own ways away from each other and formed their own lives and their own families. It was just
had their children,
different.
had a wife and kids.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I feel like the movie didn't really talk about or emphasize, or I'm not even sure if this was the same at all, but like Jacob's parents are like very, very rich, like disgustingly rich.
Yeah.
In the books. And for one thing, their house wasn't like super big or anything like what I personally pictured. Like I thought it'd be like a mansion or something. And then obviously in the movie it wasn't. It was just like a normal like middle class house.
Yeah.
But like that's not really a big deal per se, but
no.
I feel like it's kind of a plot hole in the fact that like his dad was just able to like go off with Jacob, fly overseas to Wells, and like, okay, so Jacob's dad doesn't have a job and like they have a lot of money, but like it explained or implied because like they didn't
That
have
the
a big
mom
house or
was
anything.
the one basically supplying the family with
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, like none of that was really like
Touched upon.
fleshed out. Yeah.
But the thing is, I really like whenever he first meets all the peculiar children, it was very true to the book. But there was a couple of characters, or one specific.
Yeah.
I don't want to like
Set.
set, yeah. That was in the second
Yeah, it was in the second
book. It was in the second book, and they had different powers. I think it was kind of cool how they adapted their powers into the movie, into like a different kind, but it was unexpected.
Yeah, I understood. Like, the one thing I didn't like, I felt like it was pointless to change Emma and Olive's powers. And also I thought Olive was the child, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't really affect the overall story, but it was kind of...
But like, fire powers.
Just like, man.
Fire powers are so cool.
So cool.
Like, who wants to be able to like fly in the sky? Like, good job, Emma.
You can float.
Yeah, like, we could have just like reached that somehow. Like,
Yeah.
a different way.
Like, I don't know.
Like, good job, you
Fire
helped a
powers
squirrel.
Cooler
Like,
than
that was literally
power.
the only thing she accomplished.
I think they made her more like dainty and like feminine, like kind of like
That's
girly.
true. Emma's so cool in the books. Like,
Yeah.
she's one of the characters that I really
She's
like.
such a badass in the books.
Yeah, and she just like says such snarky things.
Mhm.
Like, I really like her. Yeah, you're right. Like, in the movie, it's like,
She's very like dainty, and they made Olive. Obviously, she has the fire power. The opposite of her, she's very like not like badass, but she's not like that dainty, girly type. But in the book, since she was in my mind, she was a little bit younger. She was a little bit more helpless. She had like the air powers,
and she was kind of helpless because like, if whenever she like lost her shoes at one point, which is in the first book, so I can say that it's like the very end. Like, she was extremely helpless. Like, yeah. I just didn't like that. But like, I understood, although I didn't really like how Horace, how he can like envision, or how he has visions of the future. I didn't like how it was like portrayed, like how, okay, so Horace is basically a PowerPoint, just like puts a monocle
He's a
on him.
projector.
And you can just like see everything.
And then like that awkward scene with Jacob and Emma,
Oh my god,
he was like projecting it onto the screen. I was like, wait.
Okay, so Horace makes fanfic now? Like,
when did this happen in the books? Like, spin-off series?
Yeah. Like, I understood they had to do something, because otherwise Horace kind of seems boring.
Yeah.
Especially
he just
since
had
they
it in
didn't.
his dreams.
Yeah. And they didn't expand like very much on his character or anything, so it just seems like a boring, not very fleshed out character without his little monocle that's a PowerPoint. But like,
Victor's scene, it was so sad. It's like how I imagined it in the book. So I don't know. It was like a perfect blend of like creepy and like sad, and I don't know. I feel like was that like the only time they touched upon it in the books as well, or did they actually bury Victor?
Yeah, they buried Victor.
Yeah, at the very end, right before they had to leave.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was explained very well, like, in the movie, like, why he was like that. Because since the time loop resets, right, he's just, he's dead, but his body doesn't decay.
Yeah, so they can keep him there. But yeah, he's completely dead.
Yeah. And I don't know what was up with the tear coming down his face, though. Oh, wait, no, in the book, like, isn't it whenever he like reanimates him, basically, he like relives like the pain or something like that. Like he feels physical pain.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
Yeah, but I don't think in the movie it was explained because he like shed a tear when Miss Peregrine came in and she saw him.
Also, he didn't die from a white, did he?
Oh, hologast?
Yeah, hologast. He didn't die from a hologast, did he?
I
thought he just like died from like a sickness or something.
I don't think so.
But like there definitely was not like a
hologast in the loop.
Yeah, like coming in because that would kind of defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? Like to make a time loop, the Embrons don't make one whenever there's like a monster there. The whole point of the time loops is like only good things.
Yeah, and in the movie it said like she had to make it in a rush.
Yeah.
And that's why the hologast is there. But
yeah, but to like put it, place a holocaust where there wasn't one and a time loop is weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe it was like alluding to like Hollow City or something. But I don't know, it was very, I don't know, it was like pointless too. Like, you just saw a holocaust appear. Oh, I guess it was trying to explain Jacob's powers. But also, like, this is, I feel like this isn't even spoiling you anymore to say what Jacob's power is.
Just getting heated.
Because they put his power in the first book, and you don't figure that out until like way later, and it's upsetting.
And there's like more that goes along with his powers too, and it's really badass what he can do with his powers, not just see the holocaust. And I feel like in the books, his character develops so much more.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, he gets like, obviously braver and being able to control his powers more and figuring out like what he can actually do with his powers.
Yeah.
Which really helps him defeat the bad guy in the end, but in the movie it was more like a collective effort. Which I guess is also in the book, but...
And also at the end of the movie though, his like effort is like going into the Navy in this like weird montage of him like,
yeah,
I went back to you through these time loops and like did these things when that's not.
And I don't want to like spoil anything for the third book.
Yeah, but that's kind of what happens.
Yeah,
but the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like how everything in the end works out to where they're all happy. I don't want to spoil anything, but like the end of, do you know what I'm saying?
People die, like.
Yeah, people die, but they're all able to be together in the end. Like, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it leaves a lot, it leaves a lot open in the movie, because it's like, okay, so, you defeated the bad guy, but you're still like, what's gonna happen with Jacob and Emma? Like, Jacob's still stuck in this time loop, and so is Jacob just gonna live in the 1940s? Like, what's he going to do about his family? Like, all these things are left unanswered, which obviously are answered in the books. Like, you can say, like, obviously the books are longer, they have a lot more time to tell you the story, but also, like, to just leave a movie, like, open-ended like that, like
what about his parents? Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of, like, the fault of the director, I think. Like, I don't want to say, but, like, it is. So, I don't know how usually ends the stories, but that's
a definite loose end. Like, he just dropped everything in his actual life to be with, I guess, the girl that he loves, that he's only in for a few days, but I mean, you can't get in the way of true love, right?
And the fact that they, like, brought it up, Emma was like, well, you know, you had to return to your world, but they never, like, closed that tie.
Yeah.
It's just weird and off. Just saying. And also, the fact that his grandpa came back to life.
Oh, yeah. Can we just
like, what kind of sorcery is this?
Because it was like something about the time. Like, they killed the main white. I can't remember what his name is, but then his father came back to life. I don't understand that. I guess it's since they killed him. I don't know why.
Oh,
in the 1940s or no, it was 2016.
Yeah, like how did that happen?
What?
Oh, it was in January of 2016.
Oh, okay.
But where he was in 2016 was not January. It was like later in 2016.
Yeah. So maybe by killing him in the past, they prevented him from taking the holocaust to his grandfather. I don't know. I wasn't very clear.
Yeah, and also,
why he came back to life.
If he went through the time loop and was in 2016 in January, then I don't understand time loops perfectly, but like he was either in another place at that moment, and there are now like two Jacobs at that time, or whatever Jacob was doing beforehand in January of 2016 was erased, and now he's just somehow, where was he at? Was he in London?
I have no idea.
He wasn't where he... Yeah, he was like in Europe somewhere. So now he has to find a way to buy a plane ticket and go back home to his parents. And like, how is he going to explain that to his parents? Not like he doesn't have other things, but like, it was just... Things were left unexplained, which was a little bit upsetting.
Maybe we just think too much into it, but I feel like that's because we read the books and we
Yeah.
We have the story like close to us.
Yeah, but still, like, I feel like as a member of the audience, like, you can be like, but wait, like, what happened then?
Yeah,
Like-
and roll credits.
Yeah.
Like, grandfather's alive. He's with Emma. Papa. He's with his papa. He like got back to Emma so quickly too. It's like he's like go to her and like that.
Okay. Flash.
Like go back to the 1940s real quick.
Yeah. There were a bunch of like. Okay, let's talk about things that we did like about the movie.
Okay, yeah.
One thing that I did like, I feel like it felt very magical. Like the thing about Miss Peregrine's is that it can make you feel like it's a magical world, while also it being very like more historical than magical. If that makes sense. Like it's most of what's happening is not fantastical. It's mostly
it felt real,
historical or contemporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like except whenever like Whites and Holocaust came in.
Yeah.
And the Peculiar's powers, but like
because they kind of explain it like it's not something supernatural. It's not something like crazy weird. It's like a genetic thing.
yeah,
it's
it's just like something you have.
Yeah.
So
It's biological.
I just really like how the magical elements were kind of like fused into like the contemporary or historical time period that they were at.
Mm-hmm. I really like the costume design, the wardrobe.
Oh yeah,
To be
I like that
honest,
too.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't like Emma's boots, but
I mean, it's kind of like the clunky kind of Tim Burton
yeah, that's
style.
true, and it is
Yeah.
kind of like
weighing her down.
yeah.
Has to like show that it's like we did.
What's that style though? Where it's like Victorian.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Steampunk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's steampunk.
Yeah, kind of like
Me.
steampunk boots.
I felt like the pacing, although I personally do not like the pacing. I'm sure some people must because some people really enjoy the Miss Peregrine series.
Yeah.
But like a pretty big part of like why my feelings on Miss Peregrine's overall are iffy is because of the pacing. Like I never felt like anything got done, and like the action seemed like not that much of action because of the pacing, not because big events weren't happening, because they were. And so like in the movie though they did the pacing a lot like they did the books. So I think that was kind of nice for like Ransom Riggs to probably see.
So, I feel like the movie versus the book, you know how you were saying it was like kind of slow paced for you? I think the book was more like character based, like the character development basing besides
That's true.
like, and kind of like the plot, well not the plot, but like the action, the big events were kind of secondary versus the movie where the characters weren't developing as much because I felt like they had like the same kind of like goals and personality traits towards the end as in the beginning, but it was very like action based and plot based, and like that's why it was like picked up and everything like that.
Yeah.
So you got to see less of the character but more action versus the book you got to see more of the character, less action.
Which is typically true of a lot of like movies and books. Like books are more
Yeah.
character. That makes sense. Yeah. I didn't even listen to the music.
I didn't
Now that I
either.
think about it.
Tim Burton soundtracks are always really good, but I was more focused on like, oh my god, I read this book.
Yeah, I was just
like
like
focusing on the details.
taking mental notes.
Yeah.
And the cinematography seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't really remember like being super intent on like watching it because sometimes I will be,
Mhm.
but it seemed pretty good overall. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like the third book, another scene that I would like to see besides like, was it the Devil's Acre?
Yeah.
Was in the third book. This isn't really spoiling. It's called Library of Souls, but in the end scene where they kind of go.
Where they have a library of souls.
Yeah, I thought that scene was so incredible and so well done. I
And
don't
very
know. It was-
interesting.
yeah, it was very vivid in my imagination as well. Like I could see it happening. It was very cool. Like, and to see kind of the peculiar, like what happens to them basically.
Yeah. One thing that the movie did bring in from like the third book, and again, I feel like this isn't really spoiling anything, because it's kind of mentioned, but like more vaguely in the books. But like how they're like scientists sort of thing. Like, it explains that at least.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's very confusing. Like, what are these monsters doing?
Yeah, and the lights and all that.
Yeah. Although there's like so much more to it. Like,
it has such a rich backstory.
yeah.
Like with the main white, I cannot remember his name.
Yeah,
and like his family history and all that.
And it all connects to like Miss Peregrine and like all these other things, and it's just
imprints.
yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any thoughts on, you know, things, then tell me down below. If you have any thoughts on like the movie and like things you liked and didn't like, definitely tell us down below. I'm sure Joanne will be anxiously awaiting all of your comments.
As I always do.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're gonna get back to reading. Hit your book.
Okay.
That's okay. Put yourself super